Yeah, I had to see it.
Oh,
We know about it.
I thought I dressed coolly.
That is what you asked me.
But I've been out.
That's,
That you gave me the last time.
well, I had him print off the full thing as it was needed. That added tonight, I just got it today, but it stated in October, so I needed to.
It's floating somewhere.
Are you guys ready? I said, are you two ready?
Sure. Ready to have something?
It is live, Bob. It is? Okay. Hey,
Got it today.
let me call the Carter County Budget Committee to order at 6:05. And there are a number of things that need to be added to this agenda that were omitted or handed to Caroline as a really emergency plea. We don't have our outside agencies on this agenda, obviously, as you can see here. I know most of you, other than I guess Ginger brought hers, Leslie brought hers. So some of us will be working at a disadvantage in terms of looking at the packets unless you've already looked at yours. I've looked at most of them, of those that will be presenting this evening. I'll remind all of you that are going to present tonight, we'll give you 10 minutes to make a presentation, and then it can be followed up with questions. That's what we did with the first round of outside agencies. Consistently do that as we move through this. Those presenting tonight, committee, I'll read you who's on the list. You should have one that Chad prepared for you. I'll just go down the list from top to bottom. We'll kind of skip around, but Carter Compassion Center's on that. First Tennessee Human Resource Agency, Keep Carter County Beautiful, Elizabethton Library, Elizabethton Senior Center, Elizabethton Fire Department, Parks and Rec, and Carter County Volunteer Fire. Am I missing anybody else that's in the room that I didn't call your name? So if you'll add those, we'll try to get those out of the way first. Now, under new business, before we approve the agenda, before I ask Chad to call the roll, we need to add two items of business. We can add them as 6J and K. Just do that to keep it easier instead of trying to squeeze them in between our new business items. The first one for item J is an invoice from Osborne Electric in the amount of $4,819.89. Carolyn's got copies of those. I think she's laid them on your desk. The reason that's hitting us tonight because of the fact that the invoice date is October 31st, 2024. Then for item 6K, it's a highway department item. Summers Taylor proposal, and it's going to be a transfer, and I'll let Shannon Chet talk about that because we'll be taking some of the funding that he needs out of the highway fund balance. But we're going to have to transfer, correct me if I'm wrong, Shannon, transfer $515,000, $309,121.60 coming from the highway fund balance. Is that correct?
You repeat the amount, 516.
550.
515.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Chad, you want to call a roll, make sure we've got it.
Julie Quinn,
Yes.
Brad Johnson,
Yes.
Danny Deal, Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Todd Smith,
Yes.
Leslie Hughes,
Yes.
Jerry Stout,
Yes.
Mike Rego.
All right. Okay, we've added to the agenda, so any other additions from any members? Okay, then I need an approval, a motion for approval as amended. I'll make a motion. Heard Jerry first, so Commissioner Stout makes a motion, Commissioner Smith seconds, with no other items. Chad, if you'll call the roll.
Julie Quinn,
Yes.
Brad Johnson,
Yes.
Danny Deal,
Yes.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Todd Smith,
Yes.
Leslie Hughes,
Yes.
Jerry Stout,
Yes.
Dr. Rego.
We said we'll give each of our outside agents an opportunity to present 10 minutes or less. Let's do those unless there's anybody in the room that's here for public comment to address the budget committee outside of the business on the agenda. See, why don't we let them go ahead and present, and I'll skip around on the agenda. Start at the top, go from top and then bottom and top and bottom again. So, Heart of Compassion, you're up first.
Thank you guys so much for allowing us to come and present again this year. I'm Brandon Young. I'm the president of the board of the Carter Compassion Center. And things are really going well at the Compassion Center. We're getting a lot of traction and things have really increased. We currently have 3 paid employees on our, we're hoping to hire a 4th. So far, we've spent just on salaries and benefits. They're not paid very well, but it's $22,165. Our operational expenses this past year was $8,500. That would be electric bills, water bills, things of that nature. And so the signage out front, we did replace our sign so people could, we had a sign that was falling down, so we need to get that replaced, $2,400. We have served 144 clients this past year. And the reasons for visit, we've got lots of good data. Obviously, I guess most of you know the Compassion Center's #1 goal is to be a liaison, a hub of sorts. Instead of having people go around to 15 different places, if they'll come there first, we work as that liaison between them and all the resources within Carter County. And so we'll reach out to other agencies and we partner with them to map out a plan of action for that individual. So if we can't find a resource that can assist them, we step up to the plate ourselves and we assist them on whatever the initial trauma is that brings them in. And so we've had folks, 32 individuals came in due to unemployment that we've helped to find jobs. 14 individuals with legal issues that we've helped to resolve those legal issues. 2 for drug counseling that we've helped get them into drug counseling. 49 for shelter. That is a huge one. We really help individuals that are trying to find a low-income housing. We try to help them with that process because it's very confusing, and we've helped them. 14 just met with us just on trying to create a budget for their family, know how to budget and how to not go in the hole every month. And so to mentor them out of that poverty, that's why we're there. We want to help people get better. We do not believe in just passing out money is going to help people, but we've got to show them what to do and how to get themselves out of that multi-generational poverty that they are in. And so we've had budgeted classes there that they have attended, 24 for mental health, vocational training. We have 10 individuals come in, 65 different folks have came in just due to the lack of food scarcity. And so trying to help them find food and know where to get that. Childcare, there was 3. We had 3 veterans come in and hooked them up with more veteran resources. 6 wanted some help with parenting, how to be a better parent. So I think that's wonderful. Clothing needs, 47 individuals. Those that wanted to further their education needed to talk to someone about how to do that, 9 individuals. Healthcare, 27 came in. We've been having partner with the Lions Club. We're working on getting folks glasses. We have partnered with a mobile health clinic that's set up in our parking lot and trying to assist them on getting health care. 58 individuals came in just on help with rent. 71 on utilities. That's a big one. Light bills have been huge. All of our other agencies have already run out of money on trying to assist with light bills. We know that last cold snap was people were coming in with $400 or $500 light bills where they tried to stay warm. And so we battled that this past little bit. And so that and now we have partnered with the Lutheran Church, and we're working on flood relief. So we've just recently started that, and we've already spent $5,200 on assisting individuals within Carter County. That can be a supplementary money towards what FEMA's not helped out with. And so we have one client who lost everything except for the structure of the home. And so we actually will go and we take an application. We look at the trauma, the level of the trauma that they endured in this situation. They lost everything. He needed floors. He did not have the money from FEMA to cover his flooring. We went to Big John's. We paid for the floors, and the floors got put in his home. And so we do not give money out to people, but we do take care of the bill, the needs. So there's no money going into the hands of individuals. We take care of the need, and then they can go to Big John's, pick up the floors, and that's how we did that. But I think it's wonderful because we're trying to, our director, Mickey Fletcher, is doing a phenomenal job connecting with all of the agencies or nonprofits within Elizabeth and Carter County and pulling everything together. So it's a one-stop shop. It's making things a whole lot easier on our individuals that's already struggling. If they come to the Compassion Center, then we can kind of help coordinate all of the other stuff instead of them trying to travel around. And obviously you see that I truly believe it's working. And it's been 5 years now, and we're really starting to see the traction. And we're watching people get help in Carter County. And so we know there's a poverty issue. And a lot of this is the working poor. You can't say it's just people that's not working. They're single moms, grandparents. They're working, but they're barely making ends meet. And so they're just that one paycheck away from a disaster. So when something does happen and the HVAC fails or the car transmission falls out from under it, then they step into Compassion Center, and we do our best to try to coordinate some resources to prevent them, God forbid, to go to the payday loan place and take out a 25% interest loan when they've already got a hole, then they got into a deeper hole. So I think it's huge that these people are getting to meet with successful individuals who can help mentor them out of what their struggles are. They need someone to talk to. I think the way that I see it, I'm not much of I like to fish every now and then, but I'm not a fly fisherman. And I don't have a clue what I do. But if you put me with somebody that knows what they're doing and take me out there to the river, I might be able to do it if I had somebody come alongside of me. And I believe these people that are showing up, they just needed somebody to come alongside of them and to help them and mentor them and put the resources together, give them those budgeting classes, parenting classes. And that's what's going on at the Compassion Center. And it's working. And we all know that there's some that don't want to get out of the poverty, and there's some that if they don't want to help themselves, you can't help them. But that should not prevent us from trying to help the ones that want out and they don't know how to get out. And so that's what our role is at the Compassion Center. Currently, our biggest need, the back wall of the Compassion Center, is failing. We talk with the city. They hope to come alongside of us and maybe help us with the back wall of that. I've talked with Daniel, and he knows all about the back wall. It's water damage. It's bad. We're going to try our best to get it replaced. And so that's the physical needs of the building is the back wall of the Compassion Center. It's got some definite water damage from past when the gutter was full and the water was coming down the building, it rotted that wood. So we're trying to address that now. We did receive a small grant of $5,000 from Aramark Dining Services out of North Carolina to try to assist us with that. And so we're excited about that. That's a little money towards it. I'm not sure what that cost will be, but we're very frugal, and we take what we've got and we try to really stretch it because at the end of the day, what we want to do is just help our Carter County citizens. And that's all we deal with is Carter County. You've got to be a Carter County resident. So I hope that covers it, but I'd be glad to take questions if you have any about the Compassion Center or what we're doing or how we're doing it. We're excited about the flood relief thing because there is money for that. That's earmarked through the Lutheran Church. And we really believe we can help our citizens. And that has nothing to do with poverty. If they've had a flood, they come in, fill out application, there's levels of trauma, and then we'll meet a need for that individual. But that has nothing to do with the poverty side of the Compassion Center. That's a whole different entity. It still's operating out of the Compassion Center.
Questions for Brandon?
And we're just asking, I guess, for the same thing we got last year. So we're very grateful. Whatever you can give us, we'll put it to good use and try to help our people. So thank you all.
That was 5,000, was it?
Yes, sir. It was $5,000 last year. Yes, sir.
That's what I recommend.
You got in your letter, it says you're requesting 1,000.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, Miss Karen she may have added that to that. So, but whatever you can do, I mean, if you can increase it, that's great.
Want you to be aware of it.
You can't. We understand, but we're most appreciative of whatever you can do to help us. Any other questions? Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir. Okay, let's go to Carter County Volunteer Fire.
Good evening. My name's David Jones. I'm the chief at West Carter County, also the Carter County Fire Association president currently. We're here tonight to request $630,000 from volunteer fire departments for the next fiscal year. We realize that's a heavy lift, but it's very needed. We've been stagnant on funding for the last 3 years. We stayed the same. Every year we stay the same, almost when we get behind. This business is just expensive. I don't know how any other way. Hopefully you're all familiar with what the fire departments offer for the county. There's 7 departments in the county, pretty much one in every community of the county. Very much involved in those communities, in those areas. And I think they all do a very good job. Very needed. Much more than just firefighting, as most of you are aware. I gave you a little comparison here between Carter County and Elizabethton. These numbers are Carter County side are up to date, correct. We ran about 1,300 calls last year throughout the county. We cover a very large area. We actually cover a little bit larger area than Washington County covers, because if you carve the city out of Washington County, they cover about 281 square miles. So they're actually a little bit smaller. their fire departments are funded considerably more. I realize their population is much greater, you know, their tax base is bigger. We're running as far as calls, you know, we ran 1,308, they ran 1,363. Very similar in scope of fire department. You know, that we're comparing this to Elizabeth, and this is nothing on the city. They do a great job. This is just facts. You know, they spend the money in their department. They've got an excellent department. They have to pay people. We don't. You know, nobody in Carter County is making $1 off of being in the fire department. I don't know what they're doing. I can't stress enough how good of a job these 7 departments are doing. There's probably 4 or 5 people in each of these departments that honestly are holding those departments together. They go above and beyond constantly to keep that department where it needs to be. We're fortunate that we have that. None of us are getting younger. You know, I don't know how sustainable what we're doing now is 5-10 years from now. I'm not sure that it is. You know, we bring in new people constantly. We have a hard time keeping them. And I think, you know, I've got the chiefs from all the departments here. I'll be glad to answer any questions. They can attest to that. You get 5 new people over time, over a year's time, you might end up with one of those that sticks with it. So, you know, I think we're giving the county a very good value for their money. I realize it's a lot. It takes a lot. You know, it's not just the price of eggs that have gone up. It's, if you buy fire equipment, you'd be shocked. Shocked how expensive it is and how long now it's taken to get it. We appreciate you guys. You know, you've got a hard job and hard decisions, but we have to ask for what we feel like we need, and that's what we're doing. I'll be glad to answer.
Questions for Chief Jones?
I do have one. What is the oldest truck you all have in service right now?
The oldest one at my department is a 1999. The oldest one, we've got, I know there's older ones than that.
We got 194 model, 186 model, 96 model, 199, and 2002 model. And I do have one 2012 model that we owe almost $100,000 on at this point.
That's it, yeah.
We have, a truck, Union, 04, 97, 2010 Union, 05 tanker, 2015 tanker, and 1 range, is also an 82 model.
There's some 30+ year ones out there. There's not many new ones. I'd say Central probably has the newest one that they ordered 3 years ago and just received. I'm paying money on it, but it's the newest one in the county.
I know that during the flood, Chris found out how hard it is to get some parts for some of these older vehicles. But luckily, he had the truck when it was needed. Due to the water getting in the hydraulics and everything, that took that truck down.
And we try to stay as up to date as we can. If I go to spec out a new fire truck today, it's scary. I mean, you're talking easily $500,000 plus for nothing fancy. I mean, just the basic stuff. It's just an expensive business. We're we work together, I think, better than we've ever been working together. We do a great job helping each other. Some of that is because we have to during the day, especially ask for help. The same, you know, we've all got to have water, so we share tankers back and forth. A lot of that is automatic. You know, it's getting harder and harder to remain just a volunteer department. The requirements now are any new person has to have a 16-hour intro class, a 64-hour firefighting class within 3 years, participate in live burns, and have EVOT training, CPR. Some of the departments do extrication training. It's constantly trying to keep up with training, and these guys are doing it for free. Not making anything off of it. It takes people who want to help their communities and want, you do get that sense of satisfaction from doing it. It is something that it has to be satisfying. I mean, I've grown up in it, so I'm an old man with these, you know, I've been in it, I don't even want to say, close to 50 years. I'm not that old. But it's something that you just sort of fall in love with, and you see the need, you see the people's needs, and it's not just during the fire. I mean, obviously during the flood, I saw all of you all somewhere at some time or another, but you know, we had guys all over the county. You know, I took supplies to Elk Mills, we took generators, we took gas, we loaded helicopters, we did everything. Anything that was needed, we had people to do it. We even had people reach out to other groups and get food brought in. One of our firemen was getting meals delivered every day that first week or two from this big outfit. So, and he pretty much took that on himself and did that. So we've got a great group of people there that want to help and want to serve the county. You know, the only thing I can really offer somebody, if you come and join, I can offer you hopefully good turnout gear, good equipment, keep you safe. You know, I can't really offer you a whole lot to say, well, I want you to do all this training and then come out here in the middle of the night when it's 5 degrees. And I'll give you a coat that it'll be okay. You know, so, you know, the equipment is important in that, you know, we want to give these guys that are volunteering the best we can give them. And that's expensive. There's no way around it.
Leslie, go.
Sure, thank you. David, I just want to say thank you. You know, I think I've told you guys this in the Volunteers Association several times. I don't think anyone will ever understand how much they did during the flood and afterwards, not just day 2 or 3, and then they went back home. I know that you guys were like living at the station for 24 hours for probably a week or more. Even the unaffected flooded areas, like say Stony Creek, when we needed some guys up like day 2 up at the airport, you know, the first loads that were coming in, we sent out an all page because the other departments were still, you know, doing rescues and still trying to get into places. Stony Creek's probably entire department and Central and Watauga came down. I mean, we had dozens of people down there helping for days. You guys were everywhere, and I think you probably solved dozens of missing person cases, especially up in Elk Mills. Like the TBI would have been looking for a while for some of those people that we had no idea that they had made it out, that they had got with family and they had left. But Jason and Mike, I mean, they know every family up there. And all they had to do was, you know, like we'd call up to them and they were like, nope, that one's good. We already checked on them, where they're at. That was a huge saving to the other resources like TBI, the sheriff's department, not having to send more people looking around for them, and saving the worry of that. Do we have somebody who's really missing? Because they kept an eye on everybody. Round Mountain did, Hampton did, Elk Mills. I just have to say thank you for that. How much has turnout gear increased in the past 5 years?
about 3 times as expensive.
David, I just ordered 10 fire coats, 10 pants. Not hoods, helmets, not boots, not gloves. Gloves are $110 a pair. Yeah, helmets are 500 plus, boots are 500 plus. But coats and pants for 10 is $31,000. And we didn't get the good stuff. We got the mediocre, we didn't get the cheapest.
We normally buy the stock stuff.
Yeah, stuff off the
Keep it
shelf.
on the shelf, and you don't get to pick any options. You just pay for how they build it.
Wasn't that many years ago, I could buy 10 sets for $10,000. I put my hand on a Bible. 5 years ago, it was no problem. At the end of the year, if we had money left out of the county, one year we had $10,000 left and we bought 10 coats, 10 pants for $10,000. And whenever I got that bill the other day, I about had a stroke. I said, how are we going to make it? Basically, till fireworks. We wasn't expecting it.
And that's what a lot of us are running into, our county money. I can speak for West Carter County. When I pay I've got 2 truck payments and my insurance, and I have maybe $2,000 left out of that 67. So I don't have the money there to go out and buy instead of turning or an air pack or tools or any kind of equipment. The money that we bring in through donations is our operating money, pays the light bills and the gas bills and that. So we're scraping by, but we're running up against the wall with, and when it's time to go buy turnout here, and when you get people that join, you don't want to give them junk. And as the chief, you don't want to be, they tell you NFPA and OSHA and all these people say, 10 years, that helmet's done. It doesn't matter if anybody's ever worn it or not.
Take the helmet off, look underneath, there'll be a sticker and it tells you expiration date, helmets, coats, pants.
So if he decides, well, I got to use it anyway, then if something happens, that is personally liable for that. So, we do the best we can, but
Causes a lot of sleepless nights for chiefs. It really does. We're responsible for our guys. And we're responsible for our citizens, but our guys, them guys sitting back on the back row, as much as some of them annoy me, we're responsible for their lives. And it hurts not being able to provide them with the right, not fancy, just inadequate.
I'd like to add one thing. Go ahead, Todd. It's not a formal question. It's just a comment. It's not a surprise to anybody. I've always been a big fan of the fire departments. I know those on the commission and the budget committee, they know that. That's not a surprise to them. But what I've seen started on September 27th give me a level of respect that I didn't really have before. There's not a time within those 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks following that I didn't see some of these gentlemen right here at your station helping. And I can say that because I hung on to his coattails for about 3.5 weeks. He was the only form of communication we had out of him, was his emergency radio. But I thank you guys. I saw with my own eyes what you did, and you weren't just staying at home wishing you could help. You were out doing your part. Thank you.
This guy's wives can't get him to clean a shower at home. Young women's cleaned showers in that shower house around the clock for 2 weeks. Somebody walk out and they had spray bottles and water hoses and it was cleaning and everybody had a clean shower. You can't get them to do it at home.
Other questions?
I just want to make, because David, you did say something about like, it's not just fires. From the 911 perspective, these guys are the ones that will go out and do anything we ask of them. If there's a tree down on the road, I don't care what road it's on, they're gonna go clear that road. Half the time they're out there and got it cleared before we ever get them paged out. They will go and do anything we've ever asked. So there's a lot of things that are not just fire related that they go and assist on. They go and assist on medical calls and certain medical calls and different things. So
Most recently, that last windstorm, trees down on 321, EMS ambulance come from Johnson County, emergency patient declining fast. We was on scene, had that tree cleared, and that patient lived. If they would have waited on TDOT, they had trees down all over the county. Could have been a different story.
I would put our departments in Carter County up against the volunteer departments in the state. We've got a great group of volunteers, and they work hard.
and they answer the call. Like, I don't know that I've ever heard a call go out for volunteers and no one answer, like to say that they're responding. Someone is always answering, someone is always going. We've never waited on that.
I just want to thank you all for what you do, not only during disasters, but fighting fires. 2 summers ago, we had a fire on the Holston Mountain that could have consumed my home, and Stony Creek responded immediately. So thank you guys and gals for what you do. We appreciate it.
And I just want to thank Chief Johnson while I'm here. We've had lots of illegal burn calls in the last 2 weeks, and those guys have been great to come out with us. People get mad when tell me I put your fire out. Some of them get real mad, but we really appreciate y'all helping us on that.
Thanks, Dr. Acuff.
Yes, ma'am.
One is that every time a grant comes across my desk in the form of an email, usually, I reach out to Chief Jones and say, hey, do you want to apply for this? And he'll say, already have. So I just want y'all to know that they do try their best to get all of the funding that's out there that they possibly can. They don't just come here with their hands out. And then also, I know you mentioned the price of a truck, but I don't think it was the one that blew my mind the other night, was it? Will you tell the price and the type of truck?
Sitting over there, he can tell you.
Hey,
How much was the new ladder truck?
The one that we made purchase, well, in the process of purchase was 1.7 million. Got a little bit of discount because the city manager worked it out where we could pay a little bit up front. So if you put one on order right now, it's gonna probably take 4 to 5 years, and it'll probably be $2,000 for the ladder.
Madam Chair, the Central just got their new pumper, which has been ordered, let's say 3 years, and it was in the upper 300,000.
Close to 4.
Yeah.
Right now, that same truck's over 5. Exact same truck.
Without equipment.
Yeah, there's nothing.
2012, we bought a 4-door cab, fully stocked. We backed in, we put water in, and it was ready to go fight fire for $210,000. That was air packs, hose, nozzles, everything. It was ready to go when it backed in. A basic truck now is $500,000. I don't understand where they get it.
Something they know you can't do without.
That's it.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Let's move on to First Tennessee Human Resource Agency.
Thank you all. I'm Jason Cody with First Tennessee Human Resource Agency. I just want to give a brief overview of our agency first and then talk a little bit. First and foremost, we're not asking for any increase whatsoever. We've been partners for 50 years. We just recently celebrated our 50th anniversary, and the county has supported us throughout that time, and we're like good partners. We're going to work together to help each other out. Even in the recovery, and I'm going to talk about some of our response to the flood effort as well. So like I said, we were created in 1974. The first Tennessee part is our service area. We cover the 8 eastern counties of Tennessee, what was originally the first congressional district. And human resources really doesn't describe what we do very well, because when you think about that, you think about jobs and hiring, and we have some job training programs, but primarily social service programs, primarily around the elderly. Our 2 biggest programs that are most identifiable to you guys are Meals on Wheels and Net Trans. We have a garage across from Sycamore Shovels down here. We've got a fleet of 120-some vans that are all handicapped equipped with wheelchair lifts. We operate 16 different grant-based programs. And the funding that you all provide us is the required local match for these grants. We piece it together. That $1 of local, we leverage against $9 state/federal to deliver these services. So what is your return on your investment? Last year, we did over 32,000 meals in our Meals on Wheels program for Carter County residents. We did over 7,000 meals in our child care food program to feed kids in daycare centers in Carter County. We did over 25,000 trips with NetTrans, covering almost 500,000 miles. We provided 17,000 hours of service in an adult day service center in Johnson City for Carter County residents. We provided over 700 hours in-home, I call it light care, non-medical, but we do meal prep, we do some light housekeeping, we'll run errands, go to the grocery store, about maintaining individuals' independence. Everybody wants to stay at home as long as possible, and that's one of our goals with our programs. To give them a meal, give them transportation, to give them a little bit of assistance, because people want to stay in their home as long as possible. We did over 700 hours in that. Our impact during the storm is a devastating event for you all. I came over here several times and saw it. But let me talk about what we did both in terms of transportation and meals. We provided over 6,000 meals during that time. A lot of them were shelf stable. We provide them for over a month. And transportation, not many people will realize how we connect in some form or fashion with some of the emergency response. But we work very closely and are part of the evacuation plans for most nursing homes in the area. So we evacuated a lot of people, which took a lot of strain off of first responders. We also provided free transportation for over a month. We provided over 2,000 trips. These trips were to help people in the recovery process, to the unemployment office, to FEMA, medical appointments. We didn't want to charge people when they're hurting in need. We did over 2,000 trips, covering over 100,000 miles at no charge. Residents of the county. Last year alone, we provided service to roughly 1,400 Carter County residents at a value of over $1.5 million. So that's an impact. That's the return on your investment. As well, we do have employees from the county. We have 40 current employees that are Carter County residents. We have a payroll of almost $860,000. So that money gets essentially reinvested in your community besides the things that we buy, like having the garage. We have to buy auto parts and stuff locally. We do business locally where it makes sense. And obviously that helps out the economy. And we want to be supportive of the local economy as well. So that's kind of in a nutshell what we do. And I'll be glad to answer any questions. Try to help out in any way I can. That's what we're in the business of.
Questions? Thank you, sir.
Well, I thank you all, and you have my information. If there's any way I can help out with any one of your constituents, please feel free to give me a call, and I'll try to help any way I can. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, let's go with Elizabeth in Parks and Rec. You're ready, sir.
Hello, my name is David Nanny. I'm with Elizabeth in Parks and Rec. And I'm sure you're familiar with what we do. We manage about 100 acres of parkland here in Carter County and the city of Elizabeth, and do a lot of big events throughout the years, covered throughout the year. covered bridge days. We do a bluegrass jamboree. I see a lot of faces, a lot of folks that come to a lot of our programs, and we're glad to provide recreation for the city and county. And we have 2 recreation centers. We've got the Mill Street Rec, and we now have the Tetrick Center, the old fitness center. And we're slowly but surely, right now we've got it open. We've got the pond room open for rental, and we have do your baby showers or reunions and all your good stuff. Just give us a call. We've got walking in the walking track area every day. A lot of folks taking advantage of that. It's completely full every day. And we're looking at growing even more. We've got plans, hopefully, of building on to the back in the next few years, a big project of building a gym or a building that would house 2 gymnasiums and be able to do even more for the community. But we'd like to keep your contribution to us just the same as it was. We're not asking for any more. But what we are asking is, there's several projects coming up. One would be, that's going to be a very expensive thing to build such a facility. And we've got of course, you've still heard of Surf Betsy, the white water project. There's some things that'll be coming around. And we'd love, for you guys to be a part of that. And we could work together on more things that would definitely be good for all of us. Anybody have any questions?
All right, thank you very much.
All right, let's go to Keep Florida County Beautiful.
Good evening. I think everybody here knows me by face, if not by name. I'm glad to talk to you. We had elections this past year. Lisa Vazzosi is our new chairman and president of Keep Florida County Beautiful. We are asking for the same amount of money we asked for last year. I wanted to mention our board before I turn this over to Lisa. Again, we are an all-volunteer agency or organization. Ginger, you can attest to the fact that nobody gets a salary in this organization. We currently have 11 members on our board, all volunteers. We try to get board members who represent the various projects we have going. We have master gardeners, we have engineers, we have hospital administrators working for us at zero pay. We have talked to the city of Elizabethton. We have Parks and Recreation on our board. We have stormwater management. We offered a board add to our board just today, as a matter of fact, to a gentleman that works for Carter County. He's your stormwater management supervisor, Will Miller. Will is doing some great things with cleanups, and we want to have him on our board so he can help us with projects going forward that better service the stormwater management type systems. Any other questions? Ask my one. This is Lisa Vazzosi, our president.
Hi there. As Don said, we're an all-volunteer group, and we have a lot of different projects. We concentrate on litter cleanups. We have Adopt a Highway. We have a lot of different groups that we do on an annual basis that's in support with the Keep America Beautiful as well as Keep Tennessee Beautiful. And we work on the Tweetsie Trail as well as the different park systems throughout the county. We've done different cleanups like Blue Hole, and we do a lot of the summer activities with the park system, with the farmers market, 4th of July, summer festivals, and help them out as well as provide information. When the hurricane hit last September, we also stepped up and took some of our funding and provided water and support for people that were displaced, as well as brought a whole big box of coloring books for kids that were displaced to the recovery centers and helped entertain them since they were out of school for a month. And we just try to supplement that with what we can and what we can get. We also do a lot of beautification. Now that the shores are starting to get cleaned up, we had to cancel some of our activities like Watauga Lake because construction crews were there. But even this past weekend, FEMA finally released volunteers to be able to clean up part of the Doe River. And you probably saw there was quite a few people cleaning up that. We're also doing, again, some wildflower seeds in the different areas throughout the county in the park system, so it avoids mowing grass as well as provides pollinator. We need to rebuild part of the shores of all the different rivers and tributaries that came through that got flooded. As they clean that out, they've taken away so much rocks and wood and things. The shore needs to be beefed back up again. So we'd be planting a lot of trees, flowers, shrubs, things like that. We also are partnering both with Rowan Martin Recreation because North Anderson Park got kind of wiped out with the flood as well as Sycamore Shoals State Park area has 1.5 miles of shore that they need to have beefed up. So we're going to provide pollinator gardens along that, and then it won't have to mow it, but it'll help build up the soil and put plants back in there. We also do work with recycling and provide recycling containers to the city businesses that request it, as well as Parks and Recreation every time that there's a big event in town. We work with education and the high school kids with their environmental AP class, and they help us create seed packets that we give away at the different festivals and such, so that people at home can plant that and create pollinator gardens at home. We provide different funding to local schools and organizations for their little art projects, things like that. Part of the unique thing about our board is that we have 2 Microsoft employees that are part of our board. And Microsoft as a corporation really encourages their employees to secure donations for a lot of different charitable type activities. They call it their Benevity Fund. And they really stepped up when the disaster hit and provided some disaster relief and recovery where their employees of their company worldwide gave us a whole lot of money. We bought water, we bought supplies, detergent, took it to the recovery centers, supported that both at Mill Street as well as to Bristol Motors. And all of those funds went directly to helping the citizens. We also have a program that continues with that. And we recently gave $6,000 to the Compassion Center because those employees wanted things to go directly to people, not just beautification. In addition to that, the Keep Tennessee Beautiful and Keep America Beautiful have a program that they started last year and are extending this year that up to $10,000 supplies that we do for planting of trees, flowers, that type of thing. Could be new trash cans for the linear trail that got wiped out and probably is in Nashville by now. Replacing those items, we can spend up to $10,000 and they will reimburse us. So that money will go twice as far. So it's like getting $20,000. We are asking for the same amount that we did last year, $5,000, and we'll do all that we can to help restore the county and the city.
Couple notes. We start out every year 0 funding. The financial sheets you have in front of you show $7,500 from the city of Elizabeth and $5,000 from Carter County. We approach it that we have 0 money. Any money we get from you goes directly back into the community. If you don't give us any money, we still go out there and we pick up trash and we do whatever we can. So the funding provides additional events and projects and things that we could do without the funding, but we can expand on that. Microsoft funding on their employees was a real surprise to us. Their statement was, you're part of a community, want to support you. The other funding we got last year that we normally would not get, money from Keep America Beautiful. Their requirements are about a list of about 6. You have to keep a road indexing of the roads every year. How much trash is on roads, how much we pick up. We have to report all of our cleanups. We have to report our beautification. We have to be a 501c3, which we are. And the one thing that impacts you in our request today is the Keep America Beautiful funding is a reimbursement only. If the local county and communities and cities don't help us, that's money they won't give us. So as Lisa said, we'll get 7,500 hopefully from the city, 5,000 from you guys. It's $12,500. We spend 10,000 of that, it will reimburse us for $10,000. So
And we will spend it
$25,000.
doing more of the same.
12,500.
Questions? Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Let's go to Elizabeth. Good evening.
Thank you for letting me speak. I'll be brief. I won't need 10 minutes.
I'm your muscle, Barry. I'll back you up.
Okay.
Pull up the big one.
We're here. I'm not going to ask for the same thing that you gave me last year because you didn't give me anything last year. So what I'm requesting is the same amount for city coverage as you give one of volunteer fire departments. Now, I have no way am asking for anything that might reduce their funding in any way. I'm asking to increase it. Those guys, we respect them, admire them. They do such a great job, and I think you've got a right to be proud of them. So we work together very well. But what I'm here to say is that a little more than 25% of your county residents live inside the city. So you increase that amount instead of 7 departments, make it 8. Divided by 8, that's around 12% each of the total. And more than 25% of the city residents live in the county. So that's, if you give us the same amount you give them, that's even half of what the total number of citizens that live in the city, live in the county that are covered by the city. So what I'm saying is those guys, those citizens in the city of Elizabethton, they are represented by, I think, 2 of your districts inside the city completely. And I think 5 of those districts touch somewhere inside the city. And I don't feel like you guys are representing them to the point where it's equitable.
When I came up, Barry, to echo, I wanted to say, I appreciate what Chief Jones said. Got to know him during Helene. Spent some time in the EOC when the hours are going by slowly. So appreciate what they do. And of course, I know Chris, Hampton Valley Forge, and Miss Delissa from the quick pass through the group. I know them, but I appreciate what they do. And I grew up in the county. It wasn't Carter County, but I grew up in the county, had a volunteer fire department, that served my house. My grandma's house caught on fire. It was a volunteer fire department that put the fire out. So I'm all about that. And to echo what Chief Carrier said, we're not trying to take away anything from what they do. Don't do that. That would be the wrong thing to do. But to the Chief's point, it's really a fairness question. You've got 25% of the population that you represent in this county that is giving tax dollars to fund fire service for all of Carter County. And that's a good thing. But that county tax that they're paying goes to fund fire service for every fire department except for their own. If the city's going to do what we do, we know we staff have stations that we have, that's fine, but it's about the same level of funding that you have for your citizens across the board. That's really where the discussion needs to lie, is again, 25% of your people pay for fire service for everybody else, but they don't get anything for themselves out of that same county tax dollar. So we respectfully ask you to consider that. When you deliberate, I know it's never an easy budget year. Hey, the shoe is on the other foot. We do this, so we understand.
And I didn't get up when David Nanny was talking. I stepped out to the restroom, but wanted to say, I know there's opportunities for us to work together with the Park and Rec space. So definitely interested in that, but I know we all took a 6-month detour, and that's not over. I know we're still dealing with what came from Helene and thereafter. So when the timing's right and the opportunity's there, doors open, we're happy to have a conversation with you all to see what we do going forward. So we're not against you, we're for you. You know, we are them and they are us. You know, we're all here together. I know it's a jurisdictional thing, we can talk about that, but we're all in the same community. So I've worn it out, Chief. I can't.
We are
what you said to
We are,
say that.
we are, regardless of what happens with the county budget or the city budget. There's no doubt in my mind, those guys are going to keep working together with, if you listen to the radio traffic, the way they work together in the county, it's really, really good. And that's consistent over time. And we're going to keep working with them. We always do. And I know they're going to keep working with us. When we need them, they're there. When they need us, we're going to be there too. Okay? Thanks.
Questions? Thank you. Let's go to Elizabeth to the Carter County Library.
Hello, I'm Bernie, and I'm the library director over at Elizabeth and Carter County Library. So I thank you all for speaking to you all tonight. There aren't many truly public places left in our country. The majority of our shared spaces require money or a certain social status to utilize their services. Public libraries require nothing of our visitors while offering safe, inclusive environments where anyone can utilize our services. We hold no judgment over and place no expectations on the people who walk through our doors. Libraries are an integral part of our community's social infrastructure, providing companionship for older adults, de facto childcare for busy parents, and welcoming public spaces for the poor, the homeless, or anyone in need. But what is the cost of these services? The county gave the library $75,000 last fiscal year. Looking at the statistics that we track and submit to the state annually, and using national averages for the cost of items and services, the value of all tangible services we provide is roughly $1,384,115. That means that for every dollar the county gives the library, the county receives $18.45 in direct benefits. And I think you can very reasonably argue that that number is on the low side because that is tangibles only. So it doesn't include the cost of the staff labor to get all those items on the shelf. And it doesn't include like increased literacy rates or the community building that happens with program activities. I know it's easy to throw numbers around, and I think they're kind of meaningless without any real context. So what does your investment look like? Is your public library being open after Helene devastated parts of our county, providing internet, Wi-Fi, electricity, power outlets, running water, bathrooms, and a safe place to decompress, prevent fears and frustrations? Is your library hosting the Neighborhood Service Center for 6 weeks in our back lobby so they can serve 775 people who needed additional assistance after the hurricane? It's your library hosting FEMA in our back lobby for 2 months as they assisted a total of 448 people with our disaster recovery process. It's your library providing contact information to ensure the canon is restored properly. And it's your library continuing to assist anyone who comes into the library as they navigate the ins and outs of disaster recovery by faxing and scanning documents and proof of need for free to people. And that's all on top of the services that we provide day in and day out. Libraries aren't just about the tangible statistics that we track and report. They're a vital role in the community, offering access to free and reliable information in all of its forms. So to continue to serve Carter County, we are requesting an increase of $20,000, a total of $95,000 for the upcoming fiscal year. Any questions?
Chairman, can I back Bernie up for a moment? First of all, brag on Bernie for a good job she does for the city and the county at the library. But I don't know, I couldn't hear very well. I'm a little hard of hearing. We had intended to submit a request for one-time funding also for a capital project. Did you mention
I did
that?
not. But
Well,
you're
jump in.
ready.
This is your chance.
Okay, well.
I'm going to back you up on that.